everybody, and welcome to Storytime. My name is Christy, and today I'm going to be reading you a story, and we're going to be doing a couple songs before and after this story. So let's get started. Okay, so our first little song is called Bread and Butter, or Marmalade and Jam, and it goes like this. So first you're going to go bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as slow as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as fast as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as soft as we can. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as loud as we can. Hello! Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as silly as we can. Hello, hello. Okay, bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as nice as we can. Hello. Yay. So today we're going to be reading a book that's called Leave Me Alone, written and illustrated by Vera Brosgol. Once there was an old woman. She lived in a small village in a small house with a big family. Look at all those people. I'm sure some of you guys have big families at home too, or you might come from a small family. Winter was coming. That meant she had some very important knitting to do, but it wasn't getting done. Why do you guys think her knitting isn't getting done? I think it might be all of these little kids running around playing. Her grandchildren were very curious about her knitting. Were you supposed to hit the ball with a stick? Could you eat it? Could you make your brother eat it? Why did the ball get smaller and smaller as you chased it? The old woman was at the end of her rope. Or yarn, I guess. So she made her bed as neatly as she could. She swept the floorboards until they more or less shone. She drank tea from her samovar. That might be a word you guys don't know. This is a samovar. You might have seen it at like a fancy restaurant or something. Usually people put some tea in it and it comes out of a little funnel. It's pretty cool. Something new. She packed up her things in a big sack, and as she left, she shouted back. What do you think she's gonna say? Leave me alone! The old woman walked through the deep, dark forest. She made a fire so that she could see what she was doing. Then she sat down and began to knit. The bear family was very curious about the light from her fire and about what she might taste like. Oh no. What do we think is going to happen to this bear? Leave me alone, shouted the old woman. But they didn't listen, because bears don't speak English. So she picked up her sack and left. The old woman climbed up the mountainside. It was cold, so she found a small sheltered place. Then she sat down and began to knit. The mountain goats were excited to have a visitor, especially one that brought snacks. Oh no, the goats are eating her yarn. "Leave me alone," the old woman shouted. But the goats were too busy fighting over the red ones, which they all agreed were the best. So she picked up her sack and left. Where's she gonna go? The old woman climbed higher and higher up the mountain. She reached the top and climbed onto the moon. She found a rock that was shaped like a chair. She sat down and began to knit. The little green moon men had never seen a woman before, old or otherwise. They examined her with handheld scanners that went beep boop. There they are. They're all watching her. I think she's gonna be happy about it. "Leave me alone!" the old woman shouted. But the little green moon men couldn't hear her because they didn't have ears. So she picked up her sack and left through a wormhole. Do we think there's gonna be anybody in here to bother her? The void on the other side of the wormhole was very dark and very, very quiet. She was absolutely, completely, utterly alone. It was perfect. She's gonna concentrate now that nobody's bothering her. Soon, she had no more yarn and 30 little sweaters. Wow, she was busy, huh? And she was alone. So, she put the 30 sweaters into her big sack. She swept the void until it was nice matte black. She had a cup of tea from her samovar. There's the samovar again. Then she picked up the sack and left through another wormhole. When she came out the other side, everything was right where she'd left it. Ooh, the house is still clean. That's good. And she didn't say a word. Look, all of her family has a sweater now. The end. So what did you guys think about the book? When I first started reading it, I thought, oh, she's such a mean, cranky old lady, huh? She always says, "Leave me alone." But then in the end, she really just wanted some peace and quiet so she could make some really nice gifts for her family. So I think it's a pretty good lesson we learned today. Okay, so that was the end of this story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really liked it. It's one of my favorite stories. Before we leave, I'm going to sing one more song with you. And if you know the words, you can sing along with me. If not, you can just listen. On goes. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Yay! Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.